What's that one? Hello everybody, Chaim Baruch Alevsky here, Chabad Family Programs. Today we have a special guest, as you can see. It's my birthday gift, a walk in the park with my wife. That's all I get.
We tried making lots of parties, didn't work out.
Well, she finally agreed to a walk in the park. So usually I do this a running commentary live. Today we're going to do a walking commentary, and I'm very honored to be standing next to this amazing person. She really runs all the Chabad family programs. As if you know her, you know her, you know that. And so we're going to do a walking commentary today, and it's a beautiful day. Just checking it out, it's really beautiful, and it's a great day to go in the park with your wife. So here's the story. I heard this morning as I was getting my kid ready for school, we put together, she didn't like her lunch, so school lunch.
TMI.
So, oh, sorry. So we made a salad together and some other things. And while we were doing it, I put on this talk from the Rebbe that we both heard together, and I was translating it to her so she could hear it too. And it was such a beautiful story, so I want to share it with you today. And the story goes like this. So the Rebbe is talking about the candle lightings, the Shabbat candle lightings we spoke about earlier this week. And he encouraged young girls from the age of 3 and up to light them. And the Rebbe says that the story happened, that it happened in Israel, where a young girl, she said under Bas Mitzvah, came to a school and to speak to a class of younger children. They were 5 and 6-year-old children, that about the Shabbat candle, about the mitzvah of lighting Shabbat candles. And she gave each of the kids a little candlestick, and with the blessings, with a card that had the blessings on it, and inspired them to do it. This girl comes home. The Rebbe's telling the story that the parents shared with him. The girl comes home and tells her mother, shows her the candlestick and tells her mother about this. And the mother wasn't raised traditionally with this mitzvah, and she completely refused. She says, I wasn't raised with it, you're not doing it, I'm not doing it, you're not doing it, we're done. And the Rebbe says that the girl, in the manner that a child does, it was important to her, so she started crying, and she threw a fit, and she threw a tantrum, and she was kicking and screaming and shouting, and she wouldn't let go. And finally, because the parents just couldn't handle the cries anymore, they finally buckled and said, okay, do what you want. Just leave us alone. That Friday, she was thrilled, happy. That Friday she lit the candle. There's one single candle on the table, and the candle is there. And she's happy, everyone else is like, okay, whatever. And the next week, again, without a hassle. Are we there? We're still there. And the Rebbe continues the story and says that the mother was sitting there, and the father and the brothers and the sisters, and they see this girl sitting there looking at the candle so excitedly, and they're wandering around the house. And it dawned upon them that it was a little funny after a few weeks of this happening that the TV was on while the candle was lit. So they decided, we'll just turn off the TV while the candle is lit. So that's what they did. And then a week or so later, the phone rang while the candle was lit. And they said, you know what, it's a little funny to pick up the phone while the candle is lit. So they didn't pick up the phone. Moving on, as the weeks went on, this is how things evolved. So the mother says that she started feeling strange wearing regular clothing when her daughter was dressed in this beautiful Shabbos dress. So she started changing her clothing too. And then a neighbor walks in and sees one candle and says, what's going on? Like, why is there only one candle there? So she started lighting candles herself. And when she had 2 candles on the table, she said, the Rebbe continues with the story, she felt uncomfortable going to the stove to put up some food and playing with the other fire when the holy fire is burning. So she stopped cooking, and because they wanted warm food on Shabbos, so they put up a chont, and that brought the flavor and the aroma of Shabbos throughout the whole Shabbos.
Kiddush.
I'm sure they started, I didn't hear that part of the story, but the Rebbe said that their whole lives were transformed by this one girl who threw a tantrum for Shabbos candles. And the Rebbe says it was not even a real mitzvah, because under bas mitzvah and bar mitzvah, we do the mitzvahs, we train the children into doing the mitzvahs, but it's not biblically instructed. We do it for chinuch, for educational purposes. So the Rebbe says, look, even not a real mitzvah, it is a mitzvah of chinuch, of education for the parents to educate the children, but it wasn't like a biblically mandated or rabbinically mandated for the girl to light Shabbos candles yet, because she was so young. But that itself inspired a complete transformation in the family. And the Rebbe told a few more stories about that. Well, we'll leave it at that for now. Should I tell one more?
You tell the one with the...
One more. Okay, so there's one more story that I heard in the same talk. It's not the one that we mentioned. But the Rebbe says that it was in England, there was a mother who assumed the mitzvah of lighting Shabbos candles, and she would do it when her husband would come home, and that was always, the business would close at 5 o'clock, and it was always an hour later at 6 p.m. throughout the year. So the Rebbe says sometimes that's okay because it's before Shabbos, but like in the winter months, but in the summer months it's okay. But in the winter months, it's not okay because it's on Shabbos. And the Rebbe was very careful about instructing us to, when we share the mitzvah of the candle lighting, to make sure that it's done in a halachic way, that people know that if it's after the sun sets, don't light the candle. No way. It's better not to light than to light it late. So this mother would light it at 6 p.m. around the year. And one day her daughter, who was also a young girl, came home and said, oh, in school I met someone on the street talking about the Shabbos candles, and they said it has to be done before sunset. And the mother said, wait, but Dad's not home. So she said, oh, but we can't do it later. There was a whole argument there. And the mother finally said, you know what, you do what you want. I'll do it when Dad comes home, and you do it when you want. And that's what happened. So the girl started lighting Shabbos candles in the right time. And the mother was happy that she's following her ways, but she just wasn't ready to buckle about the time. And then the father comes home and sees one candle lit over there. Says, what's going on? Like, who's the mother's lighting, the daughter's lighting, what's going on? Long story short, it transformed the house also. So here's another story.
Wait,
from...
do you make the connection between the parsha?
Last time. Go ahead.
Oh, just that it's Parshas Chayei Sarah, and one of the things that the legacy of Sarah that Rivka picked up on was the 3 mitzvot of women. And one of the things that were miraculous about Sarah's tent is that the candles stay lit from week to week. And when Rivka entered Sarah's tent, the miracle reoccurred. So the Rebbe is talking about the mitzvah of Shabbos candles because it is connected to this week's parsha, both to Rivka and to Sarah and to all of us Jewish women.
And the Rebbe said another thing that I heard just yesterday, that Rivka, let's just say Rivka was 3 years old when she met Yitzchak. The Medrash says that she was 3 years old, and that's when she lit the Shabbos candles. So the Rebbe says we have a biblical precedent for a 3-year-old child lighting Shabbos candles. Very good. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Everyone say happy birthday to Rabbi Chaim.
Oh, yes. Today's my birthday. So, thanks for reminding me. Today, the 22nd of Cheshvan is my birthday, and it is customary for obstruction. So,
You're not a priest.
it is included. I'm not a priest, but the Rebbe says that every Jew can bless another, and its blessings are valid and powerful and effective. So, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasim lecha shalom. So God should grant you everything you need and want and desire, and you should fulfill for good, and you shall fulfill your life's mission with abundance and health and happiness and joy and menuchas hanefesh, peace of mind. And I think that's, and you should have nachas from your families and them from you, and God from all of us. Take care.
Amen.
God bless you. My Sarah.